You guys, can you believe this? Another day, another restaurant closing its doors. It used to be just mom and pop shops, but now these huge fast food chains are shutting down left and right. Remember that awesome burger place we used to go to after filming? Yeah, they closed like half their locations. It's crazy. These restaurants used to be packed, but now they can't seem to keep their doors open. What's going on? Well, get this. We're about to dive into 7 massive fast food chains that might completely vanish in the next couple of years. Let's do it! Alright, first up, we've got Subway. Remember when Subway was everywhere? You couldn't walk a block without seeing that familiar green and yellow sign. Seriously, they were like the ninjas of fast food, pop up on every corner out of nowhere. It was almost like they had a secret cloning machine. At their peak, they had over 41,600 locations worldwide. That's a lot of sandwiches. That's more stores than McDonald's, guys. Can you believe that? The Golden Arches had nothing on the foot-long empire. But hold up, things have changed. Big time. The once bustling sandwich shops are now eerily quiet. Subway's been shutting down restaurants faster than I can eat a foot long, and that's saying something. It's like a disappearing act. In the past 5 years, they've closed over 4,000 stores. That's a staggering number. Franchise owners, the heart and soul of Subway, have been waving their hands in the air like they're trying to flag down a rescue boat. They're desperate for help. They're paying fees as high as 12.5% of their revenue, which is a lot, right? It's like a financial stranglehold. Plus, they have to follow all these corporate rules that keep getting more complicated. It's like navigating a maze. And to top it off, they're struggling to keep all those toppings fresh when fewer and fewer people are walking through the door. It's a vicious cycle. Remember how Subway was all about being healthy? Eat fresh was their mantra. That's what made them famous. They were the go-to for a healthier fast food option. But now, that's part of the problem. The perception has shifted. People are getting smarter about their food. They're more informed and selective. They want real healthy ingredients, not a bunch of chemicals and preservatives. The demand for transparency is higher than ever. Next up, let's talk about Boston Market. You guys remember those golden brown rotisserie chickens spinning in the window? Man, that was the definition of comfort food. They were like the cool aunt or uncle of the fast food world, always there with a warm meal that felt like home. But hold up, things aren't so cozy anymore. Fast forward to today, and this comfort food haven has shrunk faster than my patience during a challenge. They're down to less than 300 restaurants across the country. That's a drop of over 75%. What happened? Well, it's not pretty. Imagine this: bounced paychecks, angry landlords, and unpaid vendors. It's like a bad reality TV show, but for restaurants. Grocery stores stepped up their game with those ready-to-eat meals that are actually pretty good. And then there's the rise of delivery apps. Alright, next on our list is Steak and Shake. You know the vibe, black and white tiles, those cool red booths. It was like stepping back in time, but with burgers and shakes. They were different, you know? Table service, real plates, those amazing hand-dipped milkshakes, all for the price of a regular fast food joint. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here's the thing about dreams. They don't always last. See, offering sit-down service while trying to compete with drive-through prices? That's a recipe for disaster. Kind of like trying to juggle chainsaws while riding a unicycle. Since 2018, Steak and Shake has closed over 300 locations. That's more restaurants than there are days in a year. And 2020? Forget about it. They closed over 100 restaurants in that year alone. It's like they were playing a game of fast food Jenga and they just kept pulling the wrong blocks. Their debt? Let's just say it's bigger than my appetite after a challenge. In 2021, they barely avoided bankruptcy by paying off a $153 million loan just days before it was due. Talk about cutting it close. Alright, next up we've got Checkers and Rallies. You know, the drive-through kings with the double lanes. They were like the Usain Bolt of fast food, all about speed and efficiency. But here's the thing about being a one-trick pony. What happens when your one trick gets old? They merged back in 1999, which is like forever ago in fast food years. But they kept both names, which is kind of confusing, right? It's like they couldn't decide which identity to go with. By 2016, their sales were doing a better impression of a flat tire than a thriving business. They were sold off for $525 million, which sounds like a lot. But when you're in debt up to your eyeballs, it's barely a drop in the bucket. And speaking of debt, guess what happened in 2023? Yep, you guessed it. Chapter 11 Bankruptcy. They reported over $650 million in debt. That's like trying to pay off a mortgage on a mansion using only pennies. It's not gonna happen. So, what went wrong? Well, their menu is stuck in a time warp. Burgers, wings, fries. It's like they haven't gotten the memo that people are looking for healthier options these days. And their locations? Let's just say they're not exactly in the trendiest parts of town. It's like they set up shop in the Bermuda Triangle of retail, where customers go to disappear. And that double drive-through that used to be their claim to fame, now it just feels cramped and outdated, like trying to fit into your clothes from middle school. Not a good look. They tried to spice things up with promotional events and limited-time offers, but it was like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. Meanwhile, competitors were evolving, offering healthier options and modernizing their spaces. Checkers and Rallies just couldn't keep up with the changing times and customer preferences. And let's not forget the impact on their employees, who faced uncertainty and job instability. In the end, it was a combination of outdated practices, poor location choices, and an inability to adapt that led to their downfall. So double the drive-thrus didn't mean double the success. Instead, it was double the trouble for Checkers and Rallies. Alright, let's dive into the world of Del Taco. They've been around since 1964, which is like ancient history in the fast food world. Imagine, they were serving tacos and burgers before most of us were even born. They were the original fusion food, long before it was cool. Combining different cuisines was their thing. Tacos and burgers? Why not? It's like they couldn't decide whether to go to a fiesta or a backyard barbecue, so they just combined the two. It's like they couldn't decide whether to go to a fiesta or a backyard barbecue, so they just combined the two. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. But here's the thing about trying to be everything to everyone. You end up being nothing to no one. It's a tough balancing act. It's like trying to be friends with every single person in your school. It's just not possible. You spread yourself too thin. In 2021, Jack in the Box bought them for $575 million. A hefty price tag for a fast food chain. Now that sounds like a sweet deal, right? Well, not so fast. The reality is a bit more complicated. Since the takeover, Del Taco has been shrinking faster than my attention span during a boring meeting. It's not looking good. They're opening new stores slower than a snail in a race, and the ones they already have, yeah, those are closing faster than you can say Baja Blast. And their menu innovation? Let's just say it's not exactly setting the world on fire. While their competitors are busy experimenting with plant-based burgers and crazy new flavors, Del Taco's biggest accomplishment was adding more fries to the menu. Seriously? That's like trying to win a dance competition by doing the sprinkler. It's not gonna impress anyone. Seriously? That's like trying to win a dance competition by doing the sprinkler. It's not gonna impress anyone. They need to step up their game if they want to stay relevant in this fast-paced world. Next up, we're heading down south to talk about Krystal. You know, those little square burgers that are like the southern version of White Castle? They've been a staple since 1932, which is like way before I was even a twinkle in my parents' eyes. But even icons can fall, right? In 2020, they filed for bankruptcy. Chapter 11, the big one. They were in debt for somewhere between $50 and $100 million. That's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon. It's not going to end well. So, what happened? Well, remember how I said even icons can fall? Yeah, that's kind of what happened to Krystal. The world changed, tastes changed, but Krystal? They stayed pretty much the same. They were like that one friend who refuses to update their wardrobe even though it's been like 20 years. After the bankruptcy, one of their lenders swooped in and bought them for a cool $27 million. That's like finding a $20 bill in your pocket. It's nice, but it's not going to solve all your problems. They've been trying to turn things around, though. Alright, last but not least, we've got Quiznos. Remember them? They were like the underdog that almost took down the champ. Back in 2007, they were at their peak with over 5,000 locations worldwide. They were coming for Subway's crown, and for a while there it looked like they might actually pull it off. But then, well, it all kind of fell apart. Today they're down to less than 200 stores in the US. That's like going from being the star quarterback to warming the bench. Not exactly the glow-up you're hoping for. So what happened? Well, their downfall is a cautionary tale, my friends. They made some bad decisions like forcing their franchise owners to buy supplies from them at crazy high prices. It's like being forced to buy bottled water from a vending machine when there's a perfectly good water fountain right next to it. Not cool, Quiznos, not cool. And then there was the whole bankruptcy thing, twice. Once in 2014 and then again in 2018. It's like they were stuck in a revolving door of financial troubles, and they just couldn't break free. So there you have it, guys. 7 fast food giants teetering on the edge of oblivion. It's a tough world out there, even for the big guys. These chains teach us that in the fast-paced world of burgers and fries, you gotta adapt or you're toast. Nostalgia only gets you so far, right? You gotta keep things fresh, keep up with the trends, or you'll end up as just another forgotten name on a dusty old sign. Hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of fast food drama, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more eye-opening content. See you in the next video.